Alright, let's talk about Ryuta Kashima, a guy whose life could be the perfect example of awkward, but with potential. Yep, you guessed it. This is the kind of guy who'd rather sit in a dark corner with his video games than interact with real people. And let's not even get started on his social skills, or should we say, lack of them. Ryuto is your typical introvert, the quiet kid in the back of the classroom that you barely notice. But here's the kicker. This introverted boy falls head over heels for one of the most popular girls in school. Sounds like a recipe for disaster, right? I mean, come on, Ryuto. What are you even thinking? You barely talk to anyone, and now you're going to try to woo one of the most outgoing girls around? This should be good. But things aren't as simple as they seem for Ryuto. He's not just some awkward kid with a crush. Oh no, he's got layers. Deep down, Ryuto knows he's not content living in the background forever. He has dreams, ambitions, but the road to reaching them is full of hurdles, mostly his own self-doubt. Now, let's get into his crisis, shall we? Ryuto isn't just dealing with typical teenage struggles. This boy is dealing with the fact that he's in love with Runa Shirakawa, the exact opposite of him in every possible way. She's confident, popular, and well, not shy about her feelings. It's almost laughable to imagine Ryuto in the same world as Runa, let alone dating her. But hey, sometimes life throws curveballs, and boy, did Ryuto get one here. But what makes things worse for him? He's completely inexperienced. We're dealing with a guy who's never even held hands with a girl, much less tried to flirt. And to make things even more complicated, he's got to navigate this weird new relationship with Runa, who's, well, let's just say she's a lot bolder than he is. So you can imagine the kind of awkward, cringeworthy moments Ryuto has to face on a daily basis. You'd think Ryuto would give up, right? I mean, most people in his shoes probably would. But here's the thing. Ryuto doesn't quit. Despite every obstacle in his way, despite every embarrassing moment that makes him want to crawl into a hole and disappear, he keeps going. This is where things start to get really tough for him. Bit by bit, Ryuto starts to change. He might not even realize it at first, but as he spends more time with Runa, something inside him starts to shift. He's still awkward. That part doesn't just vanish overnight, but he's learning, he's growing, and he's getting better at navigating this whole relationship thing. But let's take it step by step and not rush ahead. The road to success for Ryuto is far from smooth. There are plenty of bumps along the way, moments where he feels like giving up. He constantly doubts himself, wondering, am I really good enough for someone like Runa? Am I going to mess this up? And you can bet, those thoughts weigh heavily on his mind. Now, here's a question for you. Can you guess the name of this anime? I'll give you a hint. It's not just about dating, it's about an inexperienced boy who finds himself completely out of his depth but keeps pushing forward. Have you figured it out yet? Ryuto's journey isn't just about romance. It's about growing up, facing his fears, and stepping out of his comfort zone. Believe me, it's anything but simple. For someone like Ryuto, who spent most of his life flying under the radar, suddenly being thrust into the spotlight with someone like Runa is terrifying. But you know what? He handles it like a champ. Sure, there are plenty of awkward moments where you just want to reach through the screen and give him a pep talk, but at the end of the day, Ryuto keeps moving forward. As their relationship progresses, Ryuto starts to become more confident. He starts to realize that maybe, just maybe, he's not as hopeless as he once thought. And that's where his success starts to show. It's not about becoming the most popular guy in school or suddenly turning into a social butterfly. That's not who Ryuto is. His success comes in the form of personal growth. He's becoming more comfortable with himself, more confident in his abilities, and more sure of his place in the world. But of course, it's not all smooth sailing. The path ahead is filled with plenty of unexpected twists and challenges. One minute, Ryuto is feeling on top of the world, like he's finally figured things out, and the next minute he's back to square one, overthinking every little detail and wondering if he's made the right choices. It's a roller coaster ride, for sure. By the end of it all, though, Ryuto does achieve his version of success. It's not the kind of flashy, over-the-top success you might expect in a typical romance story. No, Ryuto's success is more subtle. It's the kind that comes from within, from learning to trust himself, from opening up to others, and from taking risks, even when they scare him half to death. And there you have it, folks. Ryuto's journey from awkward introvert to someone who's starting to come into his own. It's not perfect, and there's still a long way to go, but Ryuto's definitely on the right track. So, did you guess the anime yet? If you're a fan of awkward romance and unexpected growth, you've probably got it by now. Write in the comments. Bye.